back to my channel. We are now going to be starting a second series of style principles, having just finished the first series of wardrobe basics, and that was 21 videos looking through all of the basic components in a classic wardrobe. If you're not sure what I'm referring to, it'll be linked somewhere around here, and then you can refer to those 21 previous videos. So if you are a returning viewer, then thank you so much for following me. Please like and subscribe and continue to have a look at these videos. And if you are new, please like and subscribe as well. So today we're going to be looking at the 7 principles of design. Now these design principles are universal, whether that is referring to a piece of furniture, a house, or an item of clothing. These are universal underlying principles that all designers consider when they're actually creating something. So the first design principle is emphasis. So an item and an outfit needs to actually have a focal point or a hero piece. It's very tonal. It's a pale lilac, which is very neutral, very pale, very calming. And then I've got my flashy red patent leather shoes as a contrast. So I'm not saying whether this is right or wrong or bad, but it just emphasizes that the shoes are the focal point of this outfit. Being patent leather as well, they're a little bit shiny, so they do actually catch the eye. And then the red is a very contrasting color against the lilac. So your eye is then drawn to my flashy red shoes. Okay, a negative example of emphasis would be if I then go to a tonal pair of shoes. So you can see that everything, the entire outfit is made up of a pale lilac. So there's no direct place where your eye is directed to. Everything is just all the same color. So there is no emphasis in this entire outfit in terms of color. So the second design principle is balance. You can see here with this dress, there is a strong vertical line, and either side of the midline, everything looks the same. It is very symmetrical. So in terms of the actual structure of the garment, as well as the color, obviously, it is very symmetrical. You could even just say it's quite symmetrical, even horizontally as well. So this would be the positive example of balanced. Everything is in proportion. So this would be the negative example of balance. This dress has actually got an asymmetrical hem. So when you're actually looking at me side on this way, it looks like it's a really long dress. And then this side, you can see that it's shorter. And then front on, and obviously from the back as well, you can see that there is a clear asymmetrical line on the hem. Now, in saying that this is a negative example of balance, it doesn't mean that the concept is bad. It just means that you're using the opposite idea in terms of design. So with this dress here, it was designed purposely to actually have that symmetry along the vertical line, whereas this is purposely designed to have asymmetry, and then that is the key feature of this dress, is the asymmetrical hemline. So the third design principle is contrast. An outfit is more interesting if it actually has a contrast of colour, texture, shape, fit or form. So in this particular dress here, it has hardly any contrast in terms of its shape. It really is just the same straight up and down, but the contrast is in the colour. The Breton stripe is a perfect example of contrast because you actually have those strong horizontal lines of the navy or the black stripe in between the white. So this one here has actually got a very sharp colour contrast, but not much in terms of shape. So now I'll show you another jumper dress, which is the opposite. So another jumper dress, this one is all the same colour, so there's no contrast in terms of colour, but there is in terms of shape. So you can see that it's quite fitted along the torso, and then here around about the hip length, then it actually flares out. So the contrast is here in terms of shape, The fourth design principle is that of repetition. So when you repeat items or themes or colours in an outfit or even in a garment, it consolidates and strengthens the entire look. So this scarf here was the inspiration for this outfit. I was playing around one day and then I noticed the beige and then the pink in the scarf. So then I replicated it in the outfit. I was just playing around. So you can see there's really only two main colour themes in this outfit, that of beige and pink, which are echoed in the scarf. So by actually having that repetition in the top and then the pants, the shoes and then the bag with the shades of pink, it does actually reinforce it and it looks intentional and it actually is easier on the eye. So it actually makes this look like a complete and thoughtful outfit. So this is truly a negative example of repetition. No colour is repeated in this outfit. This was actually really hard for me to put together. It was literally like, don't think of monkeys, don't think of monkeys, don't think of monkeys. I actually had to just keep telling myself what my mission was when putting this outfit together. And it's obviously something I would never wear. There is no colour that is repeated. The only thing that is the same is the scarf, which was the inspiration for that outfit. But you can see that there's nothing that actually ties everything together. It's directionless. You really don't see the point of putting this outfit together because there's no unifying theme or direction. So the fifth design principle is proportion. Now, dresses are the perfect example of proportion because they tend to do this internally. So with this dress, I just love this so much. It's so dramatic. The skirt is actually really very A-line and that actually gives the drama to the whole look. But then the torso is quite fitted and because it's sleeveless, you can then see my arms. So you get a sense of proportion. And even though they are in contrast to each other, the lower half and the top half, it does actually give a sense of scale. So this is actually a really good principle when you're looking at individual garments, as well as when you are actually outfit building, making sure that you do have that juxtaposition of at least two different elements of your outfit, like it could be along the vertical line, like top and bottom. So this is a true negative example of proportion. Everything is large, oversized. Once again, it's directionless. So there is no sense of balance in there because you don't actually even see me. I'm just kind of lost in this swathe of fabric. It's shapeless. There's no proportion. It's something I would never wear. Design principle number 6 is movement. So you could actually use that with your hair or with a scarf, with dramatic sleeves or the flow of the hem of the skirt like I've done here. Because the fabric of this skirt is a little bit shiny as well, it does catch the light and it directs the eye as to where to look. So you can see that as I move, the skirt moves with me. And that creates a focal point. It is actually something of interest in the outfit. I've kept the top very simple so that your eye is then directed to the flow of this skirt. So here for the negative example of movement, by switching the bottom half to a firmer fabric and a more matte fabric as well, you see that there's very little to no movement in the lower half. So that particular principle has been taken away. And with all of these principles, I'm not saying that each of them can't work in isolation. It's just that they are underlying principles for you to think about when you're looking at your individual items as well as putting your outfits together. So no movement, stiff as a board. So last but not least, the 7th design principle is that of white space, or otherwise known as negative space. And this is the only principle when you're concentrating on what you're taking away or what you're not doing in the design. So in this particular case here, you're using the white as a background as a contrast to the polka dots. So then the black polka dots really stand out, and that is actually where your eye is drawn in terms of the colour of this outfit. So this would be an example of a lack of use of white space, something that is completely black. Now, while this dress does actually work in terms of balance and proportions, it doesn't work in terms of white space. So what I mean by that is there is no white space here, so you can't see the actual details in the fabric because it's all just completely black and there's nothing white at all. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video and that it has actually been helpful to you, or even just helped you to tick some of the boxes of what you already knew by default about design. I've really enjoyed putting this video together, and if you would like me to explore in a little bit more detail, maybe giving more examples of each design principle, then let me know and I can put that video together for you. If you do like my content and you want to see more, please like and subscribe and click on notifications. And remember that if you still need to catch up on the Wardrobe Basics series, then click somewhere, it will be really clear where it is on the screen, and then you can binge watch all of those videos. So I hope that you will join me next week. We're going to be looking at body shape, and for you to get prepared for that, if you could just make sure that you've got a tape measure and a calculator, because it is a little bit technical, it's more like a workshop. So I sincerely hope that you will join me next week when we're going to be looking at body shape. I can't say that it's classic, elegant and fun, it's just what has to be done. See you then.